Well, hello and welcome to Pure Performance Zone. This video is designed to help you live your best possible life. Now that might sound like hyperbole, it might sound like an exaggeration, but it is in fact some very powerful information that can help you live your best possible life, your best possible chance at your best possible you. We're going to talk about the zone. Now you've heard of the zone as it relates to athleticism. You've heard of athletes entering into the zone. I've had the honor of working with many professional athletes. My favorite right now is working with cage fighters like the UFC, the mixed martial artists. I figure it's the ultimate test of, does my emotional intelligence content work in the world's most extreme environment? I'm also called in with law enforcement and traveling around the world into high tension situations to help people find peace in an environment where it appears peace does not exist. It also applies to corporate CEOs. It also applies to moms and dads and families and salespeople and presenters. The zone is the best possible version of yourself. And what most people are unaware of is you could get there not just once in a lifetime, but regularly. In fact, you can get close to living your life in the zone. That's what we're talking about. We're talking about the supernatural version of you. The little old lady that lifts a car off a child, she's in the zone. When something almost supernatural happens, that's a human being tapping into the zone. We're going to talk right now how you can live in the pure performance zone. Hello, my name is James McNeil. I'm an international best-selling author, an international speaker. I've circled the globe, shared the stage with virtually everyone. I'm a high-paid consultant for the world's most powerful banks, helping them communicate and master results in community and in relationships. So that's a bit about me, but let's focus on you. The zone. Again, please make notes if you're able to take some notes. If not, watch this video again when you can. Let's start. Pure performance zone. It's the best possible version of yourself. That's something I would encourage you to remember. So I'm going to share with you three concepts, three ideas in this short video. And if you'll capture them, if you'll apply them, your life will never be the same after this little video. So let's get started. Step one, pure presence. Write that down, pure presence. I was told many times that there's some individuals that when you're in their presence, when you're near them, they're absolutely captivating. I'll use one person as an example. Bill Clinton, President of the United States, former President of the United States, Bill Clinton. I've been told, whether you're a Republican or a Democrat, whether you're an atheist, or it doesn't matter where you're coming from spiritually, philosophically, or politically, if you get alone with Bill Clinton for just a couple of minutes, he will own you. That's what I've been told. Like, if you get near that guy, he's captivating. He's enrolling, he's enlisting. There's something about being near him that will change your life, and you will never be anything but a Bill Clinton fan forever. Now you might say, James, that's an exaggeration. Maybe it is, but it's what people told me. So I've done research on him and on what does that mean, and here's what it means. Bill Clinton, and many of us have mastered this skill, and you can too. When he is interacting with another human being, he sees that moment, and I see this as a kind of moment like that. He sees it as a divine appointment. He believes that the person who he's speaking with, those eyes right there, that is the most important person in the universe for the time that I'm standing in front of them. He believes it's a divine appointment with eternal significance, and he pours himself into that moment. And if you will do that when you meet with people, you will experience, and they will experience the exact same thing. Here's the secret now. To have a powerful presence, you merely need to be powerfully present. Are you present? In most conversations today, people are barely there at all, in fact. They're thinking about tomorrow and yesterday. They're thinking about past issues and your agenda. They're thinking about their agenda and their needs and their fears. What they're not doing, they might be checking their phone, but what they're not doing is pouring themselves in fully to this moment with you. The most important thing in the universe is you, because you're the one they're speaking with. That's very rare. To be powerful and have charisma, to have presence, it merely means to show up, to be present. So this is what we call pure presence. Pure presence also means this, and I'd encourage you to write this down, to be fully engaged and fully detached. I want to share something with you. First, I'm going to write down the title, Pure Presence, so that you'll remember that. Pure presence. Pure presence means being fully engaged and fully detached. So to be fully engaged means I'm here. That's what we were just talking about. To have a powerful presence, you merely need to be powerfully present. So I'm here. I'm going to expand on that in a few moments. But fully detached means I'm not emotionally attached to the outcome. I'm not showing up needy or greedy. I'm showing up holistically, saying this moment is important. I'm going to pour myself into it. Whether I quote unquote win or lose, make the sale, don't make the sale, whether this single person that I'm approaching, whether they're my dream guy or my dream girl or not, it's not the outcome. It's I will master the moments that matter most, and how they flow, I trust in the perfection of the universe. So I'm not going to force my agenda. I'm not going to force my fears. I'm going to be present, and I'm going to be fully detached from the outcome, but fully engaged in the moment. Now, one of the things that you may have heard of in emotional intelligence science, it's like a teeter-totter. What I mean by that, if you're not familiar with a teeter-totter, I'm sorry about your childhood. A teeter-totter is a fun little game that kids play. It's a long board like this, and it's got a fulcrum in the middle, something in the middle that holds this board up. And there's a little seat here and a little seat there. It's called a teeter-totter in my country. And so one kid sits here, and the other kid sits over here, and inevitably one jumps off and makes the other one fall. That's the mean part of the game. But what you do is you bounce up and down, and the other child goes up and down. Fine, that's called a teeter-totter. Well, in the world of emotional intelligence, it's seen as a teeter-totter. So here's what we perceive to be true. On one end of the emotional spectrum of teeter-totter are emotions, and on the other end is logic. And what we just perceive as a society, as a people, we believe that when emotions go up, logic will go down. If I become emotional, I can't think anymore. I just can't think. We get so emotional that we lose our ability to think rationally. We can't think our way out of a wet paper bag. We cannot think. I can run. We hit the panic attack, the fight or flight mechanism, when the blood courses out of our extremities into our heart region, so that if we were attacked by a bear, that if we were cut, we wouldn't bleed to death. So the blood comes out of here, comes into here, our eyes dilate so we can let in light. Our heart pounds and we're stronger and faster, but we can't think. When emotions go up, it's generally assumed that logic goes down. When I'm talking about being fully engaged, it means not limited. I don't mean being emotionally engaged or logically engaged. I mean both. I don't mean be emotional, and I don't mean be logical. I mean be appropriate. Have the emotions go up to their appropriate intensity, and have your brain show up with you so that you take your entire game to a whole nother level. It is not being emotionally distracted, it's being emotionally engaged. To look at the moment with all of the intensity that is appropriate. If it's serious, it's serious. If it's intense, it's intense. But what I am not is egoic. My ego is not clouding my ability to focus and perform in a highly emotionalized, highly intense, possibly a high-risk situation. I can find the zone. So to find the pure performance zone, we must be fully engaged, fully detached, which means pure presence. I am here, I am all here, fully logically, fully emotionally, and I'm completely detached from the outcome. I don't need my agenda to win. I don't come here needy or greedy. I'm not trying to over-control, overpower other people. I'm not trying to protect myself or get them. In fact, let me encourage you to do that while you're watching this video. Taking a low, slow, deep breath. Let it fill your whole chest and belly cavity. Fill and hold for a few moments and release. You, just in that moment, you touched the state of pure presence. I'm fully engaged and I'm fully detached. I'm not in fear. I'm not in need. I'm present. Fully present. That's point number one. We got 2 more to go. So take your notes on that. Make sure that you understand and make sure that you apply the disciplines that we've just shared with you. You want to be purely present. That's point number 1. You want to be fully engaged in the moment, fully emotion, full logic. And you want to be detached from the outcome, to have faith that whether this goes this way or that way, it's all good. I want to give you an example on sales. You know, if you want to be a master closer, and sales is the number one income generator of all time. Sales is the oldest profession in the earth. Some people question that. Sales came first. Sales is the oldest profession in the world and always has been the highest paid profession. Why? Because salespeople help people across the threshold of making informed decisions in their own best interest. Salespeople change the world. When you help people make decisions, you help people to change their world. And that's why it's the highest paid profession on earth and always has been and always will be. Well, when a salesperson is speaking with a prospect, a pro, a real high-level pro, and at the top, I'm happy to say I'm blessed with one of those careers. The top 3%, I'm in there. The top 3%, they generate more income than all the 97% combined. And I think you know the research on this. So we make an incredible amount of money comparatively. And the reason we do is we don't try and make anyone do anything. We help everyone make a decision in their own best interest. When someone says no to me, it's equally as successful as if someone says yes to me. And that's why everyone's comfortable talking to me. And that's why so many people buy from me, because I help them make an informed decision in their own best interest without my own ego agenda. I'm happy. Now, I'm also wise. I only talk to people who are likely to be right for the product or service. I'm not going to waste my time on people who aren't prospects. The only people who get into my presence are people who are probably the perfect person for me to work with. That's one of the reasons I put out videos, so that all the people who say he's not for me, I'll never meet. And so if you feel like, wow, this is my kind of guy, then you and I will move closer towards each other. But before you're in my presence, you're going to be right for me and I'm going to be right for you. And if we talk about doing some kind of a venture together and you say no, I'm not going to be bothered by it. It's just the same as a yes. Why? Because I honor your decision making and I'm fully engaged and I'm fully detached. And I just trust that this moment was perfect. So that's an example of pure presence as it relates to sales. Pure presence in every arena feels like that. Point number 2. So point number 1 was pure presence. Here we go. Point number 2 is pure purpose. So purpose. Many people ask, why am I here? Why am I on this earth? Why am I doing this? Some people are unaware why they pick up the phone. They're trying to sell a product when they're supposed to be selling a meeting. Some people push for too much or too little. So to always know what is your agenda, what is your objective, what is the point, what is the reason, what am I doing, helps you to be a highly effective, highly efficient person. So pure purpose is a larger question. It's asking, why am I here on the planet? And you might say, James, come on, you're pushing me now. That's a little far to go in this little video. I understand. What I am saying, however, is when you tune into your purpose, your reason for existence, you find fuel that no one else will understand. Jesus one time, and if you're not a Christian, don't get mad at me, but Jesus one time, he was leaning on a well, he was exhausted, and his buddies, the disciples, went off to get him food, and a woman came up and she needed help, and he helped her, and when they came back, he was like, he was up, and he was ready to go, and they're like, we brought you food, we thought you were like passed out, and he's like, I'm fine. They're like, what happened? He said, I have food you know not of. When he was being who he was, when he was doing what he was here for, when he was serving others, when he was making the world a better place, he found the energy and the power. And some of you know this. You've had moments where you were just blessing other people. You were making the world a better place, and you had energy to burn. You had more passion and power and zen and zest. You were connected to your power source. And when you are connected to your power source and connected to your purpose, you are a flow-through tea bag of blessing, of miracle working power. When you are connected to source and connected to purpose, you are unstoppable. So the second point to write down is pure purpose. Now you might say, but James, what if I don't know? What if I don't know if I'm a concert violinist, I don't know if I'm a salesperson, I don't know if I should be in business for myself or a professional athlete. That's fine. We can start with this. Are you here? This is a toughie. Are you here on this planet to take, or are you on this planet to give? Does this universe exist to take care of you? Are you here to take care of others? It's one of the things that, for me, was a life changer. When I started my adult life, I was a desperado. I didn't tell you much of my story, but I come from the wrong side of the tracks. I have ADHD. I couldn't read till I was 21. I couldn't even speak till I was 9 years old. 9 years old before I could complete a sentence. I had severe learning challenges. I was homeless when I was 19. Virtually homeless. I could almost always find a place, but I wasn't stable. And I struggled with substance abuse. I struggled with depression. I was in a suicidal depression in Florida when I was just 19 years old. And by the grace of God, things turned around. But I came from the wrong side of the tracks. I came from desperation. I came from needing. And I remember that when I first had my spiritual awakening for my own journey, I realized, wait, I'm not needy. I'm here to contribute. I'm being filled, right? I've got energy coming into me. I've got love pouring into me now. And so I automatically said, well, then I'm here to contribute. I went from desperado to philanthropist in a second. I didn't have the resources, but I could give my time. I could give my energy. And so I immediately went from taker to giver that fast. And if you will do that, if you'll shift into the, wait, I'm here to give, then you'll find the power to give. I remember many years ago, I don't know if you're aware of this, Sylvester Stallone, Rocky. When he was younger, of course, he struggled financially. You probably heard the story until the first Rocky movie. Well, he immediately started to give and give and give and give. Now, some of you say, wait, I've seen pictures of his castles and cars. He's done okay. He's done okay. But he gave away tens of millions of dollars, like so much money. I don't know how much. I don't know how much. But I know it was so big, and he had already earned so much, that is the only reason why he kept making movies. I mean, he's an artist, so he wants to. But many insiders said the only reason why he's still working is because he has a commitment to these charities of giving and giving and giving. So what he's learned to do is give through his art form to humanity, serve greatly, deserve greatly, and then from his service, he's been blessed. From his blessing, he serves, and he sees himself as a flow-through. I use my gifts to bless people. I get paid for that, and then I bless people with the pay. And because of that, he's unstoppable. His creativity is unstoppable. He reinvents himself. And every true leader, every world changer has tapped into their pure purpose, an existence that's not self-centered. It's an others-centered existence. And so, strong suggestion is that you tap into, you become open to your spiritual connection. I do want to talk about that for a moment. I happen to be a spirit-based person or a faith-based person. So you could be Buddhist, Muslim, Hindu, Christian, atheist, agnostic. We're good. I'm good with you anyway. But here's what I believe to be true. Virtually everyone knows there's something, an energy field or something. We do know that energy, our quantum physics buddies have helped us out with a lot of this. The universe is made up of energy. Energy cannot be created nor destroyed. Energy is in a perpetual movement state. It's always moving, and it's always moving from highest concentration to lowest concentration. We know some things about energy. We know that a thought is a thing. It becomes a thing because it's the organizing of energy. We know that energy is what produces power. There's many things that we know about the universe. I happen to believe that the universe, the spiritual side of things, is beyond time, space, and matter. It transcends our time-space continuum. And the spiritual side of us is more powerful than the physical side of us. And on that side, we can tap in. Those who tap in have a limitless supply of love and joy and peace and confidence and freedom and vision and identity. They know their identity, and they find their purpose in connection to Source. Now you might say, I'm not into this whole religion thing. Neither am I. We're not talking religion. We're talking about connecting to Source. So you can call it Source, Source energy, Source love, God, or any other word that you use. But what I am saying is, this energy source, I believe, is love. In the Bible it says God is love. Well, like any mathematical equation, you can reverse them. If you're not comfortable with God is love, just say love is God. And so if you want to talk about love as being that source, that's fine. That's cool. Very cool. To find your purpose, connect to Source. And then the question becomes, how do I do that? One of the things I encouraged you to do earlier was just take a long, slow, deep breath. Hold it for a few moments and release. Let's do that again. At that moment, not only are there a lot of physiological things, the releasing of endorphins and the lowering of my stress level and all kinds of beautiful things that's healing to my body and to yours. It also gave me a moment away from ego and a moment of reconnection, peaceful to Source. When you walk in a forest, when you sit by a stream or look at the ocean, in these moments, or when you look into a child's eyes or play with a puppy, when you look into a loved one's eyes, All of these are moments where we reconnect to source. We are out of the egoic fear and frustration. We're out of the egoic striving and doubting and fearing and needing. And we just go back to everything's perfect. Everything's perfect. And when we reconnect to source, and if we can stay there long enough, our purpose jumps out, just reveals itself. So here's what we've covered in pure purpose. Number one, it's not about you. Oops, it's not about you. How can you bless the planet? It doesn't have to be big. Plant a garden. Be nice to somebody. We don't have to cure cancer, although if you can, please do. But what we do have to do is see ourselves as a contributor, not a consumer. If you want to study power, the primary purpose of power is creation and compassion, not control and consumption. When power is exercised appropriately, it always grows. If you want to understand power, if you want to understand purpose, you want to understand source, and it starts with calmly knowing it's not about me. I'm not needy or greedy, I'm here to serve. So that's number one. Number two, I would say when you connect to source, you have a chance. And then thirdly, I would say create a vision. Create a vision of the person you can be, the best possible version of yourself, a vision of how you can make the world a better place. And you don't have to go all, crazy. You can just start with, I'm going to go to the homeless shelter. I'm going to go help some people. I'm going to forgive somebody. I'm going to start by how do I help others? And if you'll tap into this power, this pure purpose, then what happens is you get on your own team. You start liking yourself more. You start believing in yourself more. You'll end one of the most powerful destroyers of a successful life, and that is self-sabotage. You're basically, by tapping into pure purpose, letting yourself off the chain. So if you'll have the pure presence, Nen consciousness, fully engaged, fully detached, I am here. And then if you'll stop stopping yourself, which is self-sabotage, and allow yourself to be the best version of yourself through pure purpose, now we've got two of the secrets already accomplished. So pure purpose is a vision. I've been told many times that there's a lot of lazy people. You may have heard this. You're not lazy. No one you know is lazy. You might be thinking, you haven't met my brother. You haven't met my cousin. Let me say this. Nobody is actually lazy. There are some people, however, who lack a clear, compelling vision that they believe in and feel free to pursue. What we need is a clear, compelling vision that we believe in and we feel free to pursue. If you have that, you found yourself your pure purpose. You now have the freedom to be the best possible version of yourself, living in your pure presence. Now we've got two of the three of the equation of living in the pure performance zone. And this is what we're after. So we got 2 out of 3, one more left. Let me grab my little wiper here. And now we're going to move on to what's called pure GPS. So you can write that down. Pure GPS. GPS is Global Positioning System. GPS is how we guide our path. So now you have presence. Now you have a vision, a purpose. Now what you'll want to do is quickly find your comfort with this idea, Global Positioning Service, or what I'm about to share with you, which is slightly different. You're going to want to keep yourself from going into ego. So here's what happens. When you have a vision, you're going to go one of 2 ways. You could fall into fear that says, what if I don't? What if I can't? Who am I? You could also go the other way and say, I demand it, I want this now, I'm frustrated, why am I not achieving more? So you can go into fear, which is retraction. You can go into frustration, which perpetuates aggression. I hope you're getting all this. This is a jam-packed video here. And to stay out of those 2 temptations, but to stay in the river, the flow of what's called Zoe life, which is best possible, best conceivable experience, you'll want GPS. And I'm going to do this quickly, and we're going to be wrapping. G stands for gratitude. If you think your vision is somewhere off in the future, you will feel a frustration, and you'll be telling yourself it's in the future. Well, your soul doesn't understand time. If you say it's not now, it's not never. It's either now or it's never. And so you want to have a gratitude and see your vision as complete. You want to see your vision as complete. All the money in the world that you ever hope to have is already in the world. You don't have to create it. All you have to do is reposition it. Everything that you desire is already here, and I believe approved by God, and quite frankly, I believe that's why you have the desire. So gratitude, just believe that the best possible life is already yours. You're just living it out. Enjoy. Number 2, preparation. So if I'm going to be king, I've got to learn some things. If I'm going to be king of the world, I would need to learn some management skills. I would need to learn how to handle all the complexity of my blessing. If you had everything you dream of, what is the level of responsibility that could come with that? It's like, how do I handle all of that success, all that power, all that achievement, all those millions of people wanting my time? Are you ready for the crown you desire? Prepare. So become the best possible version of yourself. Develop the skills, develop the habits, learn to set goals, learn to manage money, learn to manage people, learn to lead, learn. This is where we put the number one amount of our time. Our main job is right here on preparation. This is where I suggest you put your time. Stay in gratitude, work on preparation. And then lastly, where most people put their effort, service. Now, what other people what other people would refer to this as is performance. Do the work. Dial the phone. Talk to the people. Get the training. Take the action. And I'm seeing all of these as forms of service. When I serve, I deserve. If you serve greatly, you deserve greatly. So this is do what makes sense. Do the work. Take the task. Get the training. Call the person. If I have gratitude as a state, preparation as a priority, and service in how I move forward, I am moving towards my best possible life, and I'm experiencing it on a daily basis. I certainly hope you grab some notes here. I do want to let you know that everything I've been sharing with you is all inclusive in something called the Dream Life Retreat. And I do coaching. No one gets into the Dream Life Retreat. It's a very exclusive thing. At this moment, I'm only doing one a year and only 25 people. I speak to tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of people all over the world. A lot of people would like to come to this. I would like you to come to this, but we would have to have a conversation. It's called the Dream Life Retreat. It's 1 5-star, all-inclusive, ultra VIP, change your life experience. And you would fly to a resort, spend a week with me. It's 5 days of retreat, 7 days of trip, and we ignite our best possible life. You will leave there knowing who you are, why you're here. You'll understand what you really want. You'll get yourself all set up in all of the mechanisms, and you will fully engage in your perfect dream life. You will live your dream life from that moment forward. This has been the most transformative thing I've ever done. I've done a lot of work. I've worked with a lot of people. I've had a huge honor of doing that. Nothing I do is more important or more powerful than the Dream Life Retreat, where we help people to live everything we're sharing here and live it immediately and forever. I want to talk to you about the Dream Life Retreat. If you're serious about transforming your life, this video has been great. You made a wise investment of your time and get this. But if you want to live it instead of just know it, come to the Dream Life Retreat. The only way to do that is you have to talk to me one-on-one. You'll need to complete a questionnaire if you're serious and say, this is who I am, this is where I want to go, this is what I want to do. And then I will follow up with you, or my team will. Someone will follow up with you. But if you qualify, you and I are going to have a one-on-one call. Just so you know, my one-on-one sessions are $1,000. But anyone who's very serious about joining me for Dream Life, I don't charge for this. But I need to know you're the right person. I'm happy to speak with everyone, but my time is very limited. So complete the form. Let us know who you are, why your life is worth us investing in. I believe it is, but you have to tell me where you're coming from. Then hopefully I'll get to speak with you soon. And if at all possible, I'll see you at the Dream Life Retreat, where you and I will live our dream life from that moment forward. You deserve, and the world deserves, you living in the pure performance zone. Today's the day to get started. Complete the form. Hopefully I'll speak with you soon.